In the advanced manuals of Toastmasters, they challenge you to go a little bit beyond outside your norm. And in the advanced manual Persuasive Speaking, it does just that. It's going to challenge you to do things that maybe you just don't do in everyday life, and maybe that's not what your forte is all about. So for about the first 4 to 5 minutes here, I'm to explain to you what I'm doing. One is, I'm about to sell something. This is salesman's. Now, I'm not a salesman. Never have, never will be. Don't know if I'll ever try to be. So this challenges me to come here and try to pull this off. It's a step out of my norm. So the first thing that a salesperson has to think of is about the person they're going to sell to, the customer. So, to be an effective salesperson, what must I know? One is I have to focus on the buyer, their needs. I have to ruminate on what they're about. Two, I have to possess a good listening skill. And I've noticed a lot of salespeople who don't have that skill. They can't wait to get something out of their mouth before the customer has even finished saying anything. So you have to have good listening skills. Then you have to create a value for the buyer. This is honesty. You have to be honest about what you're trying to sell them. And then, of course, you have to radiate credibility. And this is how you present yourself to the buyer. But there's buyer's needs that have to be taken into consideration too. When the buyer comes into you, they need to identify what they're after. What is their goals, their needs? What difficulties are they having about the product that they're after? They have to understand and give why it's important to them to have this product. So they have to communicate this in an efficient manner in order for the salesperson to help them. They also need to really want to understand what it takes to fulfill my goal. If I am the buyer and I need this product, I have to communicate to the salesperson just what it takes to fulfill my goal. Then, of course, I need to evaluate all the options this salesperson is going to give me. And then, you know, there's a decision-making process that takes place. You have to make a decision at some point. Now, as the salesperson, I want you to buy before you leave. And as the seller, you want to buy, but if I can't convince you, you will leave. So there's a trick to being a good salesperson. Now, the other part of this, now that I've kind of explained the two issues of it, is I need to sell something. And today, I am selling motorcycle riding products at my store. I don't know why. That's what I do. And I want to have a customer who's going to come in looking for gloves. Now, unfortunately, I forgot my gloves, but I'll use some pictures instead to get my point across. So I'm going to have Sam Weatherly come up here, and he is going to he's going to check out my store and see if I can convince him on why he should have motorcycle gloves, not some generic glove out of Sears, Pennies, or Walmart. So, customer, would you please come forward? Mr. Customer, your name, sir?
Sam.
Sam, what brings you to my store today?
Well, I purchased some gloves from JCPenney's and they really suck. They started coming apart at the seams. And then when I'm riding in cold weather, my hands get cold. Hot weather, I'm sweating. And I just really think that there's some better products out there. But you know, these really look good. They were on sale at the time. I got a big discount. My wife liked that and wanted to purchase them. I personally wanted to buy the more expensive ones, but she didn't. So I left her at home today so I can come down and get exactly what I want.
Well, that sounds good. That's great. And you have come to the right place because we deal in a lot of motorcycle gloves. In fact, I have a whole shelf of them. But first of all, let's take an idea. What kind of riding were you interested in? What kind are you doing? Is it sport riding, tour riding? Is it just cruising, casual riding?
Just cruising.
Cruising kind of casual riding. Well, let me explain the difference from the gloves that you bought versus the gloves that we have here that are motorcycle gloves and why motorcycle equipment is so important. First of all, the gloves that you bought, they look like this. They're straight. They simply, when you hold them up, they go straight across. That's all they do. That's the way a regular set of gloves look. Motorcycle gloves, as you should have when you ride a motorcycle, they're designed like this. They have a curve to them. And that curve serves a purpose. The curve is because you're handling grips and controls. And since the hands naturally roll forward, this gives you better grip control and a more comfortable position. So that's why you should have motorcycle gloves. Second of all, motorcycle gloves are designed to protect the hand. Motorcycle gloves allow you better feel, more comfort, and in case of a fall, when a person is falling, what is the first human instinctive reaction? Hands go out. So we want to have material that protects these hands. So these gloves will have usually some type of Kevlar around the tops, on the bottoms, or really thick type leather that gives you good protection. The other difference between the gloves that you bought and the gloves that we have here is they are designed that if you put your hands out and you have an impact, they slide. For a lot of gloves people buy in the stores for warmth, they stick. And that's what you don't want, because if it sticks, more injury.
The guy at JCPenney said nothing about all of this.
Well, that's because he's not a motorcycle.
They just said they were on sale, so that's
Right. Now let me ask you this. How long have you been riding?
We're about 5 years now.
All right, so you have a little idea on the type of riding you've had years before. How about weather type gloves? Now we have several types of weather gloves. We have gauntlet gloves that come up higher to keep wind from out of you. We also have summer type gloves that are shorter. And we also have aerated gloves. Now, not the kind where they cut the fingers off and take them away. We've seen those. We call them the Michael Jackson specials. I don't sell those kind of gloves. You can find motorcycle gloves like that, but they're not that well. In fact, I know of a guy who came to my school to get some training, and he had the gloves on and we wouldn't let him use them. He had to wear one of ours, but he was missing 3 fingers. And we said, "Where's the fingers?" He said, "Oh, I went down my motorcycle." I wonder why. Wrong gloves, and that's what the gloves do. So protection is critical. Now, also, comfort is going to be a big issue with you. Do you ride long? Is it long riding? Do you do lots of long riding, or is it just short weekends?
Oh, it's Saturday.
Okay, well, but you still want something that's going to give you some protection. I have a whole line of gloves over here that will help you out. I'm going to help you out in cost, too. Today we have, actually this weekend, we have a special going on for sales. In fact, we will sell you 1 pair and give you another pair at half cost, whatever glove you want. Now, these gloves also are guaranteed that if they split, if they start to come across, come apart, if they get handled, within 90 days, bring it back to us. We'll give you another pair. It's not that problem. Now, what's your cost range?
I was thinking between $100 and $150.
Okay, well, I've got gloves that go anywhere from $50, which is very good gloves, all the way up to $500. So I definitely have something within your price range. What do you think?
I'm sold.
You're sold?
Oh, cool.
You take American Express?
I take any kind of cane you want, including green.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Now, at this stage of the speech, I'm going to need feedback. And that's what the project asked for. So I want to ask you as the audience, and Sam, what could I have done better? Bob? Anything I could have done better there?
I guess maybe, well, toward the end, you didn't ask Sam what price range I think that he wanted definitely, because I wasn't certain, Sam, how much you were gonna ultimately pay for it. But other than that, I thought everything was good.
Okay.
I'll say the one thing that was good, you explained things beforehand.
Okay. Juan, what'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was great.
Great, Mike Wells?
I think the best part was the explanation of the product that he was about to buy,
Okay, good. Tina?
the education.
Yeah, I do think, again, that the description that you had of the glove and the return feature was very nice as a salesperson,
Ben?
Oh, I like your example of the gloves. That was kind of
Yeah, the
interesting.
drawing.
Not everyone knows about
Motorcycle
that.
gloves. Yes, I noticed you went like that immediately as soon as I did it. How about, I'm sorry, young lady, I got your name.
Ellie.
Ellie,
Yeah.
okay.
No, yeah, but exactly what you mentioned. Like at the end, I wasn't sure how much you were gonna pay, but everything was really good. Like the information you provided, like the relationship you started to build, with the client by providing the information and building a trust,
Good.
basically.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir, I don't have you.
I'm Doug.
Doug?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think maybe just to echo the one comment was maybe the consensus on what he was willing to spend. That was the only thing, to close the deal. But I think it was good. Yeah.
Very good.
It ended
Explained
too
it well.
quickly.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, that
trying
was-
to get with it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved your speech. I like how you separated his needs or what he wanted and what he had. So you bridged that gap and then you said, okay, this is the value I provide. So you started talking about value before talking about price, and that's actually the right way to sell a product. You bring value and then you talk about the price.
Well, I've always been the one to say, hey, if you're selling an item, you do the best that you can. You have to be honest. You have to have courage. You know what courage means in salesman? You have to go beyond what the boss might want you to go on, because bosses will want you to sell what they have, not what they need. And a good salesperson sells you what you need. And that's the way you get the product across. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.